Political power. Cap and trade. We all learned about cap and trade, a concocted plan designed to drive down America's energy consumption, drive up energy costs, and inevitably and ultimately drive our wealth overseas. For the globalists to redistribute America's wealth to the far corners of the world by making energy so costly here, we can't manufacture anymore. As we're capping energy growth here, China is building a coal-fired power plant one every week. 52 in the next 52 weeks will open up in China. China built the world's largest hydroelectric dam ever built on the planet and nuclear power plants. And they're burning dirty coal in China, in those power plants. And what are they going to do with the electricity from those power plants? They're going to build solar panels with that electricity and windmills to ship to this country under market price. This is how convoluted this is. So Barack Obama introduces a cap-and-trade plan, which he says in his own words will necessarily force the cost of electricity to skyrocket. The idea is to reduce consumption, export production, lose jobs and prosperity. We have that right here in New Jersey, folks. Many of you don't know it, a lot of you do. But back in 2008, Governor John Corzine passed what was called the Global Crisis Solutions Fund. It was passed in January of 2008 with a whole bunch of Republican votes, by the way, in the state Senate. They passed the bill to establish this climate crisis program, which includes a cap-and-trade program identical to Barack Obama's in every way. Totally identical. When you read the bill, passed in January 2008 with votes of Republican state senators and assembly people, the bill actually uses the terms cap and trade within the bill. Before the terms cap and trade were in the American lexicon. That bill was authored by a woman named Lisa Jackson. Lisa Jackson, who at the time was the head of the DEP under John Corzine, went on to become EPA head under Barack Obama. The bill that she authorized, the cap and trade bill, sets energy standards and actually states in the bill that the New Jersey cap and trade bill is designed to segue directly into a federal program when established. They were very optimistic looking ahead to establishing a cap and trade program. At the time, everybody was on board with climate change. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger saying, the science is in, the decision is made. You had Newt Gingrich doing a TV spot with Nancy Pelosi. Right? They were all on board. Al Gore was getting a Nobel Peace Prize. He was getting an Academy Award. Everybody was buying this nonsense. We weren't. We were fighting it. So they passed this legislation, as well as did 9 other states in the Northeast. And they established what's called the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. Those are 10 states that now are engaged in a cap-and-trade program identical to Obama program in which energy production is capped. And if an energy producer wants to exceed that cap, they have to buy carbon permits in a marketplace. These permits are auctioned off every 3 months, and investors buy them. And investors put them in their portfolio with the hope that they'll sell them later on to energy producers at a big profit. It's projected that, by the Heritage Foundation, that these permits, which are now selling for about $2 a piece in these secret auctions, if a federal bill is passed, or if it expands through the nation, state by state, that the value of these permits will go from $2 to $20 to $100 a piece. Not a bad return on your investment. So who's buying carbon permits? Let me give you some ideas. How about Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley? And these are the people who are engaged in the trading and the buying of these speculative permits. Big people with big money, with a big interest in seeing that cap and trade is established in the rest of the country. And if they do so, their profits are enormous. And so this has been taking place, and it's been taking place secretly. They operate behind closed doors. They not divulge information to the public. They say that they are a non-profit organization and that they're not open to open public records requests. 10 states operate within this, New Jersey being one of them. New Jersey being one of them. Last month, George Soros, recognizing that their federal agenda was being stalled, shifted gears and made it clear that their new strategy is to advance their agenda, healthcare, cap and trade, and what have you, on a state-by-state basis. And that's what they're doing. They are now talking about bringing California into the Northeast's regional greenhouse cap and trade program, and other states that are not within a system any longer. We can stop this, folks. It's projected by the Heritage Foundation that if cap and trade stays in place, that the cost of electricity in New Jersey by the year 2020 will go up 100%. That's only 9 years from now. 100%. That's 10% a year. Growth, just about 8% a year over the next 8 years. And that will destroy our industries and put a massive burden on each and every homeowner and everybody in this room. We cannot let it happen. It will render New Jersey unable to compete with the rest of the country. We have petitioned the governor to repeal this. The response we have gotten is that Governor Christie is a strong supporter of cap and trade. That's a reality, folks. That's been reported, it's been reiterated, and it is continuing that way. Allison McCose, Assemblywoman from Sussex County, has introduced a repeal bill in the Assembly with a co-sponsor, Michael Carroll. In the Senate, Mike Doherty and Steve Oroho have introduced bills. As of now, no Bergen County legislator has added to either bill. Jerry Cardinale has not become a co-sponsor of the cap and trade bill. Kevin O'Toole has not become a co-sponsor, neither has any of the legislators. So on the issues that are critical to you, right under your nose today, they're advancing that agenda. We beat it on the federal level, and we're losing right here. And if we don't stop this, if we don't dismantle this regional greenhouse gas initiative by getting one state to begin by pulling out, it will continue to advance, and George Soros will have his way. Period. There's going to be a story coming out tomorrow from an investigative reporter who spent the day last Friday at the shareholders meeting of the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative people in New York. They have a problem. According to their own consultants and engineers, they are now projecting that this initiative, that's nothing more than a massive tax hike on you, the ratepayers, is not going to affect carbon emissions in these states until after the year 2030. So their program doesn't even work. That story will come out tomorrow. Cap and trade means massive energy hikes for you, the ratepayer, massive tax revenue for the states around us, state of New Jersey, state of New York. It's nothing more than a new hidden tax. Nothing more than a tax, and it has to be stopped. This is the biggest speculative scheme ever in this country, bigger than the subprime mortgage deal, that's going to be actually funded by you, the taxpayers. When these people make their massive profits, you're going to pay right out of your pockets. We have our work cut out for it. That's moving right now. We're not backing off on this. This is going to be our #1 issue in the months to come. We're going to go legislator by legislator. We're going to find out why they don't support repealing cap and trade. And they need to know something. If they don't repeal cap and trade, we're going to throw them out of office, no matter who they are. No matter who they are. We will do everything we can to keep you up to date on this every day. I told my staff, I got Mike Proto here, every morning you got to wake up and think, what can I do to get the cap and trade issue out there today? All right, so if you own a business, you want to do a press conference about how it's going to affect you, we'll come out and do that. We're going to go around the state the next several months to each legislator every week, legislator of the week, where do you stand on cap and trade? We'll go to their offices, it works. We'll go visit them, it works. So we mean business. Second issue is Obama's health care plan. Every day more and more comes out about it. Its impact is unbelievable. I mean, it's deadly. And you know, there's 22 states have joined a lawsuit suing against the Obama plan because it's not constitutional. Right? It's a violation of the United States Constitution. It goes beyond the limits of the federal government's constitutional rights. It's a state rights issue. That will be in court. It's a very powerful lawsuit. New Jersey has not joined that lawsuit.
Why?
Well, ostensibly, the response from the administration was the money. But anybody who listens to Mark Levin knows that Mark Levin has offered to pay the costs out of his legal fee for the state if they join the lawsuit. Yeah. Paula Dow, who is the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey, is a primary voting Democrat. She voted in the primary 2 years ago. My question is, did you vote for Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton? But, you know, when asked about the lawsuit, and we delivered 10,000 signature petitions and a signature on April 15th to the governor's office to ask them to join the lawsuit, He said he would look to his advisors for advice, and his advisors in this case were Paul Liddell, the Attorney General of the United States, and the head of the Department of Health, Poonam Malay, who's a liberal Democrat who donated money to Frank Pallone, who was the author of the health care bill. Those were the advisors on what to do. So New Jersey is not part of that lawsuit, despite the offered assistance in funding it. We're not joining the suit. It's too late now anyway. They can't join any longer. So what do we get instead? We get a bill passed out of committee last Thursday, out of the Senate Health Committee, to set up the Obamacare Implementation Commission. A commission whose purpose is to advance and implement the Obama health care plan in New Jersey on an expedited basis. It's the first state in the country to do this. The commission will consist of members, union leaders from the AFL-CIO and the CWA, healthcare officials, and by the way, Attorney General Paul Liddell, who will also sit on this commission to see to it that we implement the Obamacare system as effectively, as efficiently as possible. There are 9 members of that committee, that healthcare committee. 5 Democrats, 4 Republicans. That's 9. The bill passed 6-0, with 3 Republicans abstaining from any vote at all, and 1 voting with the Democrats. Not one Republican no vote against the implementation, the expedited implementation of Obamacare in the state of New Jersey. No blockade, no, let's fight this, no, we don't want to implement it, none of that. Just, we're not going to vote at all. That's what we're up against, folks. So there will be a full vote of the Senate on the 22nd of November. You need to call your legislators and tell them to vote no in the Senate. And we'll put out a list today and tomorrow with the contact information for every senator so how you can reach them. And then you have to call Governor Chris Christie and tell him to use his veto power to veto the implementation of that pact. Because the Democrats do not have the votes to override a veto. So the governor can kill this. We should not be pushing to implement Obamacare when Republicans in Washington are trying to dismantle it. That makes no sense. And by the way, this sets up a very complex bureaucracy, all kinds of people and extension to other departments of the state of New Jersey to do it. Who are the 3 that did not vote? Diane Allen. I don't know, Mike can look it up. Diane Allen.
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet. We put it out in our news release. None of the county, nobody from Bergen County was on that. But so folks, on your 2 big issues, right, in the state of New Jersey, things are pretty wishy-washy. So we have our work to do. That's why we need you. I'll tell you about one more bill. It's a warning because you're going to start your Christmas shopping soon. A law was passed in New Jersey, it was signed into July, which now says that if you buy a gift card, restaurant gift card, retail gift card, give it to your mom, your friend, whatever, and they don't use it in 24 months, the state takes the money. The state takes the whole thing. It doesn't go back to you. It doesn't go to the vendor. This is the only state in the country that does this. The state takes the money. So make sure you use that gift card as fast as you can. And this begs the question, folks, when does taxes become piracy? I think this version is on piracy. That was passed in July with lots of Republican votes. Well, we weren't paying attention.
But how do they take the money, Steve?
The businesses have to set up a whole new bookkeeping reporting system. And they've gotten an extension of 6 months to do that because then they realized after the legislators passed it how complex it is. If you own an Outback Steakhouse like my nephew does in Parsippany and you sell a gift card and that person uses it in Texas, they don't have a real way of tracking that. So they have a very big expense ahead of themselves just to report on this nonsense. So as you can see, state, federal, and local issues every single day. You know, I could tell you a whole lot of other things, but you'll have to sign up for my newsletters if you want to hear more of that. So we have a lot of work ahead, and it's no time to think that we're finished. The work, I guess, is really never finished. Certainly not now. So that's where we're at.